I'm doing it. I'm going to talk about these signs. You seen these yard signs? They've been out there for years. The do-gooder, self-righteous liberals gotta use their yard to grandstand about how awesome their values are, and that if they tell you the things that they believe in a sign in their yard, that they're like changing the world through this. Like you're gonna see this, and it's gonna change your mind. It's gonna change your life, right? That if you see somebody with a sign that says that they believe Black Lives Matter and no human is illegal and love is love and women's rights are human rights and science is real and water is life and injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Oh my goodness, you just see that, and right there it's like, whoa. Man, I hadn't thought of any of that, man. I was just going around being a terrible person, not believing these things until I saw your sign. Holy cow, man, changed my life. I mean, like, after all, you got to fight the racism that is having a mowed green yard by putting a sign in it to genuflect on how good a person you are. Let's check this out, because this is a thing. This is at least one person in the world thinks that having a oh, where is it? Here's the one, that having a lawn is racist. Yeah, let's look at
I
this.
can't
White
stop thinking
supremacist.
about
This
how
is the way
grant.
the liberal mind thinks. This is the
I
way the
can't stop. I
ideology.
can't.
Here we go. Oh my gosh. I can get this to work. I can get this to work. Hang in there with me. Volume. There we
And
go.
like based in white supremacy.
Dang it.
I can't stop thinking about how grass lawns are racist and like based in white supremacy. If that doesn't make sense, that's okay. I guess it seems really obvious to me.
I bet it
It's
does.
it's really
When your when your mind has been twisted by critical racist Marxist theory, I bet you see a green tended lawn that's mowed, and you think that's taking care of your lawn is being a white supremacist. This is what my grandpa fought Nazis for, is so that people with too good a life and too much time on their hands could spit on the grave of them all, and tell their ancestors down the line that actually it's America that's the Nazis, and that having your nice little home and mowing your lawn, and why I think it was God that told Adam to tend the garden in the Garden of Eden. So, actually, taking care of, in my Christian worldview, like taking care of a lawn or a garden would actually be like the first job ever given. But apparently, that is white supremacy.
upsetting. Bring back weeds. Bring back clover yards. Look, can we just can anything just be okay in its natural state, or do we just have to whitewash everything, make it a competition, and use it as a sign of your worth as a human being in society?
Do I have to break that down? Like, this is so stupid. Do like there there's that part of me. There's that punk rock part of me that's like, yeah, man, I'm not gonna mow my lawn. I don't give a care. And then it's like, stupid. Like, you can go out and mow go out and mow your darn lawn, man. Don't be that person with the lawn full of weeds, please. You want to go do that? Go live on a street where you're not part of a neighborhood, and you want to have your lawn like that. You have the freedom to do that. You have the freedom to do that in America. And you know what? She's a capitalist right here. She's actually a capitalist, because she's talking about you'd have to actually own the property, own the home, own the yard, and tend to it yourself. So she's not even a Marxist, man. She's actually a capitalist at heart, because she's talking about owning property. They don't even realize this. Anyway, that was a. I just thought that that fit. That's a little sidetrack. Let's talk about these signs some more. Okay, Black Lives Matter. That it's such a gaslighting statement. It's like, well, of course, like Black Lives Matter. Like, who who told you that they don't? Like, who is telling you this? The Republicans and the conservatives aren't telling you this. I'm not aware of any. I don't. Who is telling you if you're black and you're watching this, who is telling you that your life didn't matter? I think your life matters. I think you're made in the image of God and loved by God, and that we're all part of a human family. I mean, whether you believe in evolution and that stance, or whether you believe in creation and that God made us, like either way, we all are the same human race. That's my view. You got red blood. I got red blood. Your life matters. I want good things for you. As a conservative, I want you to be able to live in a free constitutional land where you have opportunity and can and make a business and buy a house, and that the economy is regulated primarily through supply and demand and people freely engaging in economics with less government intervention rather than more. And because I think that like it just clearly is proven in history that that is better and works for people and produces uh, more prosperous, free places. And so that's good for you and that's good for everyone. I want that for everyone. It doesn't have to do with skin color. I want that for everyone because it's better and it's just proven. If if socialism, Marxism actually produced wonderful societies that were actually more free and prosperous than capitalist ones, I would follow the evidence. I would follow where there's proof of that. There's not. And so I don't support those ideas. And so I don't support the left. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, Black lives do matter. Everyone's lives matter. And of course, I know with this statement that the statement is under the claims of the Marxist CRT claims of systemic oppression. If you've watched my channel at all, you know I talk about this all the time. And so it's the claim that like police are just going out and framing black people, killing unarmed black teens, and things like that, that there's a whole epidemic of this happening. And then when you actually look at the crime statistics, when you actually look at the data of this, the amount of unarmed police shootings of black people is actually incredibly small. And when you actually look at the numbers, I think more white unarmed people end up getting killed by the police than black. When you look at police body cam footage and watch what police actually have to deal with, you actually see that they deal with um, like crazy situations every day. Sometimes people like act like they're being like good and friendly, and then suddenly in an encounter, they're pulling a gun, they're being dangerous, they're trying to hit them with their car, or just being defiant from the start, just running immediately from the police and turning it into a thing. Like the amount of body cam footage of uh, of of crime, like you go look, you see what police deal with. So that's always been the case. And so it did not pan out of like, oh, there's all of this police brutality and all of these really illegal shootings going on of people, like of black people. Like didn't pan out. We've had body cams for years now, and it didn't turn out that way. It actually vindicates the work that the police are doing, and that there's not some systemic bias thing happening. So, well, there's that. And what else? I mean, Black Lives Matter. It's also like the left paints it as if white society is intentionally trying to like oppress black people, as if like white people are going out and killing black people, as if the death rates in the black community are higher because of white people, and they come up with all kinds of systemic reasons, all kinds of other explanations for this stuff. And then the reality is, of course, that we know that in blue cities, blue states, urban, black, poor environments, there are gangs, there's a subculture of that does not respect human life, of people shooting and killing each other over petty little things. And unfortunately, like this, like the ones who are most affected by this are the Black community. They're the ones impacted by the crime in their community that occurs from fellow Black people. They're the ones that have to suffer from the murders, from the robberies, from the theft, and all the things that happen. Like, they're the ones that suffer the most. And then when the do-gooder, uh, liberal, woke judge with their CRT glasses on looks at the criminal and goes, well, they've been oppressed, and so we're going to go ahead and give them a light sentence and then send them back out into the community. You know who suffers with that? You know who suffers because of that? Then that Black community suffers more. And that's what happens. And then, of course, I mean, you've probably already heard, if you haven't, like, I mean, the Black population is only like 13% of the population in America. If you break that down even further, like, the Black male population is only, I think, like maybe 6 or 7%, and yet they're committing like 45% of the crimes. Okay, so the per capita is much higher. The per capita death rate in the Black community is like, it's like 7 times higher than it is for white people because of that violence. And most violence, most murder is within the race. Most white murder is other white people. Most Black murder is other Black people. And while there is a disproportionate amount of Black people killing white people, the reality is that most of it is happening intra-racially within the communities. And so um, the reason why the death rate is higher is because of Black people killing other Black people. And I mean, do I need to post the videos in this video showing the kinds of craziness? I probably will. I mean, there's endless videos of vast scenes of, like, just hordes of like Black teens just going and looting stores, having vast fights in the streets, gathering together and stealing from gas stations and looting and destroying en masse in ways that, like, we like never seen before. I mean, it's been going on for years. It seems to be going on even more, and it doesn't seem like much is being done about it. Like, something is being inculcated, and it's coming from this left-wing ideology. But I don't want to go more into that because I've already talked about that in previous videos. The All of that to say is that this sign is meant to be pointed at guilting white people and making it like America is an awful racist place. It's meant to be aimed at conservatives. It's meant to go, look, evil conservative, you need to read this sign and know that because they have the sign up, that they're better than you and that they have the right values and support the right things. The reality is what they're supporting is not treating Black lives as mattering. What they're supporting is just the continued ruin and damage to the Black community that harms real Black lives. Like, I don't know. That seems kind of racist. Uh, Moving on. No human is illegal. I'm like, what? That's where you're wrong, buddy. Yes, actually, as human beings, we're all expected to obey laws. And when you break laws, then that is a crime. That is illegal. Like, the phrasing of illegal alien is a legal phrase, that it's somebody who is the alien, they're from a foreign nation and they've broken immigration law that makes them an illegal alien. Like, it's just the legal language. And of course, it the like the left likes to go, well, this is dehumanizing. And it's like, well, this is a law that applies to humans. Like, we're not applying this legal language to squirrels crossing the border, to creatures crossing the border. Like, this applies to humans crossing the border. To say that, well, this person is an illegal alien, is to go, this is a human who is expected to abide by fellow human laws. I am humanizing you. I am treating you as a intelligent, competent, responsible human being capable of making decisions and being held accountable to law by saying that you are a legal or illegal alien or whatever your status is. That it literally is humanizing to say that. So yes, a human can be illegal. Okay, okay. So when in the blue state and when the Democrat makes their assault weapon ban and says you can't own the AR-15 or can't have the 30-round conventional magazine for that gun anymore, and if you keep it, then you're a felon and you need to go to prison because you're just maintaining your property and your constitutional right. Constitutional right to own your property, constitutional right to own that firearm and that magazine. Well, you know what the left does? They say you're illegal. They say that you're breaking the law and committing a felony and need to go to prison because of it. Now they'll let out the gangbanger who shot somebody with the gun, and they'll drop the charges of the gun crime, and they'll give a slap on the wrist and give a little probation or community service or do cashless bail and let you walk out the door, and maybe they don't even go after you again. Or you'll just have warrants on you and they don't even come after you for them. Okay, but if you're the conservative, look at what they did at January 6th. There's no slap on the wrist because you're the ideological enemy. Whereas if you're within the intersectionality group, then you're a class victim. Okay, let's keep going. Love is love. Love is love. What a nice what tautological statement that is. It's like it says everything and it says nothing. It's I see that and it's just my mind goes like that's a stupid statement. Love is love. What do you it's like what are you talking about? Except I know what they're talking about. When they say love is love, they're talking about all things LGBT, right? Whatever hedonistic, fetishistic, paraphilic, whatever impulse, desire that you have, polyamorous, furry, whatever weird thing, including because this is going to be coming on the left. Yeah, they're the ones on the side of the maps because that's what's coming. The people who are into kids. That's what it's called is maps. And you know what they would argue? Love is love too. Okay, so all kinds of love is love is just a statement of it's really just hedonism. It's just do whatever you want, follow your feelings, follow your heart, follow those sexual desires wherever they lead you. I mean, never mind that on in the news, like every day there are teachers getting in trouble because of the relationships they're having with their students. Never mind that like they are practicing love is love. Never mind. Don't look at that. Okay, they don't want it to mean that thing, but they do because the radical queering of society, the Marxism of society is to upend all morals and everything, and so it's throw out the conventional standards of morality, of sexual morality, of the things of starting a family, falling in love, and pursuing one person of the opposite sex and producing children with them. They want to disrupt and destroy that. That's what they're all about. That's what feminism is about. That's what Marxism is about. That's what critical theory, critical race theory is all about. It's all about deconstructing that and destroying it and flipping it on its head. And it encourages these kinds of immoral behaviors. And so that's what the statement love is love actually mean. Is well I'm just such a good person because I don't judge any behavior as bad if it has to do with romance and sexuality. You just say it's love And that just makes it okay. Just as if you just call something racism, that just automatically makes whoever you've aimed that as, that just automatically makes them the bad person, and it makes you innocent. You just say this is racist. It's your get out of jail free card. You just say, well, this is just love. You just call it an identity thing. You just go, well, this is my identity, and then it's okay. And that's the mindset. Let's keep going. Let's keep going here. Okay. Working our way through the sign. Women's rights are human rights. Well, yeah, I mean, women's rights are human rights. Men's rights are human rights. Never hear about men's rights. I don't hear about what men's rights are. I don't know what men's rights are. I know what women's rights are. I don't know what men's rights are, but women's rights are human rights. I mean, I do think that little little babies in the womb, little female babies in the womb, and the little male babies, whether they're a week old, whether they're a day old, whether they're up to 9 months in term, wherever they are in that gestation process, that first 9 months of life, I think that they have rights. I think that they have a right to live if they can, and to not have that snuffed out because the liberal feminist woman considers it an inconvenience and doesn't want their own flesh and blood child. Yeah, I mean the women's rights of the tiniest women do matter, but that's not what this sign means. This sign actually means literally the opposite. In fact, probably all these things mean the opposite of what they say, because what women's rights means to the left, never mind all the rights that women have. I mean, they live in the I mean, women, you're living at the peak of rights in human civilization, brought to you by a society rooted in Christian morality and ethics and capitalism, and the Asmongold over on his channel said it like the philosophy of Greece and the laws of Rome. I mean, that's like Western civilization, and that has what produced this society that has allowed the poison of the radical feminists to be able to, let's say, be fruitful and multiply. So you get to work in the corporate world. We need to destroy the corporate world. Capitalism is evil, but also feminism got you out of the role of having children and raising families, which is actually really awesome. Like, being a parent is great. It's hard, but it's great. And got you so that you can go to a 9 to 5, man. That's awesome. That's woo. Yeah, working. I mean, I like my job. I like my job. I mean, if I could just retire and not be working, if I could be a stay-at-home dad like that, I might enjoy that. But anyway, that's a sidetrack. But okay, women's rights are human rights. So I mean, like, devaluing the unborn child, and not considering it a human is kind of a, it's like, do you believe in human rights though? And devaluing our constitution. I mean, the left is always attacking and censoring the First Amendment, and doesn't care about religious freedom, doesn't care at least when it comes to Christianity. It's like, well, how much you got a sign in your yard that says human rights, but do you really? And women's rights, uh, you're you're saying that men can be women. You're giving men trophies at beating women, at beating up women in sports, at beating them in their own games, and now, it seems like the most patriarchal thing in the world to say that men actually can be women and can actually be the best women and win contests and beauty contests and things like that, and putting men in women's bathrooms and women's spaces and things, and telling the women to shut up and don't complain, and that they're not really a threat, and it's up to the man pretending to be a woman to decide, like, whatever they want to do. um oh, that goes up to the other one, the love is love thing, right? The love is love one trounces the women's rights one. Whoops. Hey, that leads us to the next one. Science is real. So the in the one with the women's rights one, you don't think that the literal life growing inside of a woman is actually a human being who has a right to exist, as everyone through all of time would have understand, because everybody knows what it means to get pregnant. I mean, you know what's coming. That's why someone wants an abortion, because they know there's a human coming. They're not confused about what's coming. They know a human's coming, and so they want to stop it. They want to kill it when it's very small and very new, or when it's not as small and new in some places. But um, like that's the whole point. And science only confirms this, right? Because science allows you to study and observe things and test and make hypotheses. I mean, science hasn't told us anything less about what a little baby is inside of the womb. It's told us more. It's showed us how very human that little living being is in ways that people in the past couldn't have known. And yet, of course, you couldn't even do abortion kind of things before modern medicine. I mean, children were always a blessing. People like, well, okay, there was human sacrifice and all of that. But again, I'm coming from a Christian worldview. The human sacrifice, those kinds of religions, which the cultural relativists and the moral relativists would say, like, don't judge them. If the Aztecs want to sacrifice tens of thousands of people, cutting out their hearts while they're alive, and like making like a river of blood that they can paddle a canoe through, it's like, hey, that's your culture, right? Don't want to judge. But also America is evil and bad. But the science is real thing. The science is real thing. Okay, so this the person with this yard sign probably thinks that men can become women and women can become men. Wait, what happened to science there? And they're probably the same people who put the diapers on their faces to stop a virus that really wasn't that big of a deal and wasn't worth shutting down all of society for a couple of years. That is COVID, and that probably came from a Chinese lab, but you weren't allowed to say that and would get censored for saying that, which goes back to the human rights thing of free speech. Huh. The science is real. I mean, it was like I think Enlightenment and Christian thinkers that really paved the way for scientific thought to develop. Science owes a lot of its existence to both Christianity and, of course, Western civilization. I mean, scientific thinking is the reason why we've been able to advance in the ways that we have, by rooting out superstitious things and falsehoods and things like that. And yet, of course, science can be corrupted and misused as well. So I mean, that's you, you can't go science is real, and then you don't know what a woman is or how to define it, but cutting up body parts and leaving big scars and injecting silicone and inverting a penis and things like that all of a sudden mean, well, now you're a man or now you're a woman. And to retroactively change documentation to claim that, like, wow, wow. To go and claim science while holding those beliefs is really too much. Okay. The icing on the cake here is water is life. This one seems like just like stick the jab in. It's like, what does that even mean? Other than like, it's meant to make them sound like they're so smart and that we're so stupid. Like, this stuff is like so obvious. Like, by the way, like, science is real and like water is life too. Like, you're probably like a flat earther, and like, no, from this you're probably the flat earther. Like, I'm surprised that hasn't become mainstreamed on the left to claim that like all of Apollo and space missions aren't some big white supremacist hoax made by the evil capitalist imperialist America, and that it's not just all some big lie and racist against the world. Like honestly, how have they not jumped on the flat earth bandwagon yet? But I'll say that's probably coming. So if I've predicted this here, that this becomes mainstream for the Democratic Party, I don't know if I've said it first, but I'm putting it out there. Um, yeah, water's important. Yeah, water's great. I mean, we of course need water. But in communist countries, they tend to control everything and mismanage everything and like produce too much of some things and then run out of other things because everyone's hoarding their stuff and mismanaging how things are moving around in the command economy structure, and then people don't end up getting the resources that they need, the food that they need, the water that they need, the things like that. And that's why tens of millions of people then starve to death and die, like the Ukrainian farmer, I think it's the kulaks, being killed in Ukraine because of the Soviet Union, or because of the tens of millions of people who died of famine and starvation in the Cultural Revolution of Mao's China. So I mean, yeah, I'm like, as a capitalist, yeah, water's life. You can buy equipment, dig a well, and and filter the water. And if you want the water that somebody's put effort into acquiring and purifying for you, then you can do some work too. And you can use this thing called money, and you can exchange that money and go like, I I will sell you this thing, and then I can have some money. I'm going to use this money to go buy a bottle of water, and then I can have water, or I can have food. We'll exchange our labor via money. We'll exchange the time and effort and labor of our lives and use money as the medium so that we can acquire the things that we want. And we do that cooperatively, and we can all be judging to what degree we feel like that is fair to do that. Oh, you'll sell me that for that amount of money. Well, I don't think that that's worth that amount of money, so I'm not going to buy it at that price. Oh, I can't find it anywhere else though. So I guess maybe that is going to be worth it to me at that price. And those kind of interactions are happening all the time, every day across the whole world. And that is how a market economy, in a very simple way, works. That's how capitalism works. And that's a pretty good system right there, and allows you to get your water and provides the incentive to create machines, to create technology to acquire more water. Whereas if you weren't going to pay me for the water, then I wouldn't even be able to do the work to dig the wells and distill it, or create some big distillation plant in order to get that water, or whatever it would take to do that. The last statement is, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Again, the thoughtless, fake, wise sounding, pithy statements. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. In injustice in North Korea, communist North Korea, they're doing it there. They're doing it. Nobody's moving there. The left is not moving there, but they're doing it. The communist juke system that is practiced in North Korea is an unjust system. That's injustice. It is not a threat to America having justice. We could have our own justice here while they practice injustice there. And there will be injustice in the world always, because we're people and we are imperfect and our societies are imperfect. So this is a really stupid statement, because one, we can't even agree on what justice is and is not. And the reality is that we are just simply too complex of beings to have societies that in which injustice doesn't occur. I mean, I'm a I'm a therapist. I work with individuals, couples, and families. There are injustices that happen between two people. Two people. If injustice and harm can happen within merely the confines of a family or of a couple relationship, why, you don't even need two. You can have dysfunction in one person. You could be a person on an island by yourself and have dysfunction of some kind. If we can't, if just one person can't be working right, if we can't get two people working right, if we can't get a family working right, then you're gonna have injustice and unfairness and brokenness in society at all levels. The question is, what are the things that work? What are the things that actually incentivize and reward good societies, functioning societies, things that work to the betterment of people's lives? And America is a gem of things that, amongst whatever things are bad and flawed and haven't worked, there's a lot here that is good and has worked. And that's why, in spite of all of its ills, I still support things like, of course, capitalism and whatnot, because I think that that is the most just form of economics. Because our constitutional republic, I support our constitutional republic because having a constitution and a bill of rights and a government with checks and balances seems better than some other forms of government. Having the freedoms to buy and sell and own property and trade and all those good things of capitalism seems a lot better than a command economy, top down totalitarian state, socialist state, Marxist state, telling everybody what to do and trying to control every single thing while promising to do it well and to do it good and to do it out of its own goodness. Okay. Okay. So, what do you think about these signs when you see them? What comes to mind for you? What do you think about the sort of folks that put this sign in their yard and what they're trying to convey, what they think the purpose of this is that they're going to put these statements on there? Or what do they think about you if you're the evil conservative who doesn't uh, who who doesn't mm, follow their worldview and their beliefs that they're conveying on this sign, or have, your own perspective on it? So what do you think? Please leave a comment below, and I appreciate that we can uh, talk about these things and disagree on these things and peacefully disagree and debate these things. And I'm glad we live in such a free and not fascist country that we can openly talk about these things on the internet and post on YouTube and things like that. And you can share your opinions, and you can put your silly yard sign out in the yard to show your left-wing values statements, and oh, gaslight your neighbors with how much better you are, and moralize to the world in a way that you think is going to have some sort of positive impact. I like that we live in a free kind of country where you can do that. And yeah, and then we can give each other a good ribbing for when we think somebody else is doing something stupid, and we can joke about that. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we can't be kind and respectful to each other, and otherwise get along and work together and live together, even when we disagree about things, many things, and yet can have so many things in common as well. Because you know what? We could have vastly different beliefs on all of these things and still be polite and wave to one another and talk about all kinds of things that don't relate to this. You'd hang out with people and have fun with them and just go, you know what? We don't agree about these certain things within the political world and whatnot. And you know what? So it's better just not to talk about them, or to save that kind of talk to the internet or something, or to conversations that can be done maybe with love and care. if it's going to be face to face with people in your life. Or, you know, it can be better to just avoid those conversations entirely so that they don't get heated. But that's the kind of society I want to live in. That's the society we used to live in, is where we could disagree about these things strongly and not throw around fascist and oppressor and all kinds of bombastic statements like that. It was just politics. And politics has always been about power. Politics has always been about, well, about forcing your ways and views on other people via the power of the state. Ugh. And yet that's the way things are. So anyway, please leave a comment below. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of thing, and I'll see you next time.